What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We're here with some more NFL DFS picks and lineup advice. This time for tonight's Monday Night Football Super Wild Card Weekend finale. Dallas Cowboys, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here's some lineup advice, FanDuel and DraftKings. Everything you need to crush tonight's single game showdown slate. Welcome. I'm Brian Jester, co-founder here at Occupy Fantasy. And what we do in these videos, we talk about the injuries that impact the slate. Fortunately, not many tonight. Low risk, high risk lineup construction tips, and general showdown strategies to help you win those contests. Before we get started, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, get notified when we go live, upload any new videos. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video, helps us out, helps others find the video. Any questions, comment on the video below. We'll get back to you before the slate locks at 8:15 p.m. tonight. All right, so Cowboys, Bucks. Fortunately, like I said, not many injuries tonight. The biggest concern is with the Tampa Bay offensive line. One of their starting guards is expected to be out. Obviously, continuity along the offensive line is very important. However, they are expected to get Ryan Jensen back early in the season. Lost to a knee injury. They weren't even sure if he was going to come back this season. He was activated off injured reserve maybe 15 minutes before I started recording this Monday morning. He's probably expected to play tonight as a result. So that's certainly an upgrade to their line. Going to have to do some shuffling. But health is always important among the offensive line, especially when getting one of the best in the league back. So doesn't affect too much DFS strategy, but maybe a little bit of an upgrade to the Tampa Bay offense. Let's talk about low risk lineup construction first then. 50-50s, double ups, head to heads, just have to beat half the field to double your money. If you watch these videos, you read our showdown guide, you know the typical strategy is to either try to lock up all the scoring, play all the quarterbacks and running backs, or play the values. However, tonight's a little bit trickier because we have the split backfields on both sides. We have Tony Pollard for the Cowboys as well as Ezekiel Elliott. And then on the Tampa Bay side, both Leonard Fournette and Rachaad White are splitting touches, splitting carries, splitting receptions. So fortunately, these guys are pretty cheap, especially on the Tampa Bay side. Dallas is a little expensive, but overall, the pricing, especially on DraftKings, actually on both sites, is pretty soft. I imagine it's because it's playoff time. The sites, both DraftKings and FanDuel, want more casual players to play and have an easier time building lineups. So as a result, low-risk lineups are a little bit easier. So if we try to fit in both quarterbacks, let's just play Prescott, Tom Brady. If we want to play one of the running backs, we could. We could play Leonard Fournette with his reception share, 7,200. Let's look first what else is possible. The big thing on DraftKings tonight is the mispricing of Cade Otton, the tight end. He is just $1,800, effectively running as the number one tight end in Tampa Bay. Just had the one target in Week 18. That was because the starters were pulled early in the game. Should let you know. But we're seeing six targets versus Carolina, 7 targets for Arizona. Multiple targets per game generally, and $1,800. And even if he throws up a 0, it's not going to kill you in low risk. But effectively, the starting tight end, $1,800. So we have to get him into the low risk lineup. He's going to be the most popular value on the entire slate on DraftKings. Now, $7,500 left per player. It allows us to play high PPR options, high floor PPR options like Chris Godwin. We could pay up for CD Lamb, or we could play a mixture of these mid-range guys. I prefer to get Leonard Fournette in there because of his receiving work. As we see, 10-point floor mostly, which is what we need in low-risk contests. So get Fournette in there. $7,700 left per player. You could fit any of these mid-range options in. You could fit Pollard in if you wanted to. You could fit Zeke in if you wanted to. If you put in Godwin, that's $6,200 left per player. You could also swap Tom Brady to captain instead of Dak Prescott. But basically, these are the 3 to 4 guys you have to get into your low-risk lineup tonight for DraftKings. Now, FanDuel, it's surprisingly even easier. If you watch these videos before, if you've been playing low-risk contests yourself, you know that it's generally difficult to play a low-risk lineup on FanDuel. However, we play both quarterbacks. The first thing you'll note is no player is priced over 16K, which we've seen on many showdown slates in the past. That's one of the big reasons. Fournette is super cheap over here for a running back, just $10,500. Now $9,250 left per player. We know that kickers are incredibly valuable in FanDuel scoring system in their single game format. We play either Maher or Stuckup, or both if you wanted to. At least $1,500 left over. Or you could upgrade to Rachaad White, Dalton Schultz, one of the defenses, whatever you want to do here. But this start is the way to go. These 3 guys plus one of the kickers. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward for low risk contests tonight. Where it gets interesting, obviously, is high risk contests. Let's go back to DraftKings. These are leagues, satellites, GPPs, and where we have to beat a lot of people to win a lot of money. And so we expect the most popular. Let's pull up the Occupy model here really quickly. OccupyFantasy.com ranks every player at FanDuel and DraftKings single game with projected ownership. If we look at DraftKings projected ownership for the captain spot, Chris Godwin, CeeDee Lamb, Tom Brady, Dak Prescott expected to be the four most popular in our projections. Let's go back to DraftKings. So playing those guys, obviously, really the two angles I'm seeing, really three angles I'm seeing tonight because of the soft pricing. First angle is not playing K. Dotton, right? He's going to be incredibly popular. Let's just avoid him. Maybe we pay it for Noah Brown, T.Y. Hilton. If you're playing 150 max, you mix in some of the backup tight ends, third, fourth receivers. That's certainly an option. But I also really like the defenses tonight. Both project for sub 10% ownership on both sites. And when you have two teams that pass the ball a lot, Tampa Bay pass rate over expectation. Love to see that, which means more passing means more opportunities for sacks, fumbles, turnovers, defensive touchdowns. So playing the Cowboys defense, great way. And if you're a Cowboys fan or if you're an NFL fan or you've had Dak on your fantasy squad before, you've seen the pick sixes, you've seen some of the mind-numbing interceptions he's thrown in primetime this year. Buccaneers defense has to be on our radar as well, given his mistakes. So playing a defense at sub 10%, great way to differentiate and really high upside tonight. The other way is to leave salary on the table, right? If all the pricing is soft that we can fit in so many of these guys, leaving more than $1,000 on the table is a great way to get unique. And again, this for high risk contests only. But if you can upgrade that remaining roster spot to another player and you don't, that automatically adds to the uniqueness of your lineup. So lots of different options you can play at the captain spot. All these guys have high ceilings. Just make sure you correlate, leave some salary, throw in a defense maybe. Easiest ways to get unique on tonight's Showdown slate. On FanDuel, I think there are two paths to play high-risk contests. And it depends on the contest size you're playing. If you're playing just small field contests, leagues, 100 players, less than 500 players, just play the quarterbacks, correlate, mix in a low-owned player. That's easy. In high-risk contests, in large field, we expect both Brady and Prescott to eclipse 30% MVP ownership. Expect them to get the majority of the MVP looks by the field. So what you can do, the positional players in this game have incredibly high ceilings, multi-touchdown upside. Can CeeDee Lamb lead the slate in scoring? Yes. Can Mike Evans? Yes, we saw it very clearly in that Carolina game. Can Tony Pollard? Yes. Can Zeke? Probably not. Can Godwin? Yes. Can Fournette? Yes. So I think the first path is either to mix in equal exposure to these high upside positional players while only playing the quarterbacks in your flex spots. The other way, if you're convinced or you want to get extra leverage on just a couple of guys, which both these strategies are fine strategies, you play a majority of your lineups with Dak, a majority of your lineups with Brady, or go all in on Dak, go all in on Brady, but play the quarterbacks heavily at MVP. That's the other way. And just mix in as many different options as you can, as many different flex possibilities. The idea being you have the right MVP, and now you're just trying to cycle through combinations to get to the top. It's a really good strategy. We see it all the time. I don't know if I prefer it on this slate. I think I prefer the other strategy of playing CD, Mike Evans, Pollard, those guys. But not going to fault anyone who goes heavy on Prescott and Brady in the large field GPPs in their 150 or their 20 max lineups. So pretty straightforward slate. Really like how this slate is shaping up. The pricing makes things easy, but also that gives us a lot of opportunities to get different in the largest contest. For more information, make sure you check out our daily plug at OccupyFantasy.com. That'll post later this afternoon. Our writer Bismo will go through rankings for FanDuel and DraftKings for different contest types, more specific lineup construction tips, more in depth than I can go in this video. Overall slate notes, you don't want to miss it. That link is in the description below. Our model you saw earlier, projected ownership, that'll update throughout the day. Projections, FanDuel and DraftKings, our lineup builder allows you to build up to 300 showdown lineups using optimal lineup criteria, everything you need to crush a showdown slate. And before we get out of here, if you made it this far and you liked the video, make sure you are subscribed. Sometimes, even if you watch it this far, YouTube won't show you another one of our videos in the future because of the algorithm. So subscribing is the best way to remedy that. You'll see our videos when they post. Give us a thumbs up. Helps us out, obviously. Helps others find the video as well. We appreciate that. Any questions, comment on the YouTube video below or join our Discord server, OccupyFantasy.com/Discord. Chat with other members of the community. Brian Jester, Occupy Fantasy. Thanks for listening and good luck in tonight's Buccaneers and Cowboys wildcard playoff game.